They might get a little bit nervous bringing them alongside. Okay, so personally I leave the key in the door.
Yeah, it'll lock, so if you left your key in there and it swung shut, you then sneak it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Be enough at Giles, wouldn't it, in a locked room?
So there we go.
Bear that in mind.
So
First thing to do will be to turn on the electric. So we've got two isolation switches over here. One of them turns on the VHF, so we've got a fixed station here. It comes up on channel 16. Channel 16. There's a button here which has M on it in this one here. Can you come and have a look? Can you see that? No. So if I press M, we get the number 1, which is M1. That's our working channel. You want this on, but you may well do lots of your comms on the handheld. But if you have an emergency or anything, you go to this. It's got much greater range, and also you can communicate easily to the clubhouse. You can't always do that on the handheld. So that's the VHF. So turn it on, press M.
if you're using 37A and you adjust it to that.
You press that M there.
M1.
That's the memory.
Bottom right.
And that just you get the number 1 there. So I go back to channel 16. Click the red button. So you've got an emergency. You're calling the Coast Guard. Then you just press that red button. It's not a DSSS button. But,
so your radio now is operating off the top of that mast,
Okay,
4 metres above us, whereas your handhold is on that sort of length aerial down here.
and then the other circuit breaker in here next door is the auto hoot. Nothing happens when you turn that on. But the auto hoot is now live. So check that's working before you start. There are spare horns. You should have whistles on any life jacket or buoyancy aid you're dressed in. Those are other ways of making sound signals if the horns aren't working. But okay. Also in here we've got some flags, but all the flags we're going to use actually are on bamboo poles here. Behind Peter, we've got the outer distance mark with its ground tackle. Rocket launchers here for putting the flags in. Not in the bottom there, tied off on there, both ends, and then get your flags out that you need. And we'll go through some of that a bit later on.
Can it go either side?
It can go either side, and normally I suggest having it on the side of your core, of your start line, so that then you're sort of facing and you can stand back from flags. Although the actual start line is from this mast here. You've got the control for the auto route here, and you put up the club Jeep, which is with the other flags there.
So Peter, if you could just come out slightly. A lot of people work really hard at keeping the course marks in alphabetical order. So under here you're going to find all the course marks that you'll ever need. So I'm going to come up with Y, and we try and keep them in order. There's multiple cards for multiple boys, okay, and they're stored under here. Please do try and put them back in the order that you found, in the correct order. Yep. We'll go Y, and we'll do Y to D. There we go. And we're going to do it a number of times. We're going to do a number of times. We are going.
Just past one.
There we go. We're going to do it 5 times.
So if the start line's outside, then you really suggest actually putting it outside the start line so that anybody who's arrived late in the area or is in a subsequent start, they can find it. On the side here. Do we need a bigger flag? Okay, so
should we treat ourselves to a new...
that's the number of laps, number of diamonds. So it's 5 on one side, 4 on the other, and then there's another various ones with 3 and 2 on each opposite sides to give the number of laps. Any questions? Auto hoot is on this is normally set 5 AP displayed. coming down, you do that 1 minute before you go into a start sequence, before the warning signal, so you do 1, 2, drop your AP, and then you just turn this on at the warning signal, and that will automatically go in.
What I forget to do is turn it off.
Everybody, and it will remind you, of course. If you have an individual recall, it'll do up its signal, and then you can do a second blast to do the individual recall. And if it's general, of course, it's the 2 with another signal after that. Okay, right, let's get.
So your start sequence flags